Grace.
Hi, I'm Prisca.
And this is the Fighting Club, a space where being together makes us stronger.
Take a break and hang out with us.
Fighting!
All right, so let's check in with each other.
Sure.
This is a part of our podcast where it's called Rosebud. Grace, do you want to explain what Rosebud is?
Sure. So this is something I do sometimes with my team. Rosebud is you share what the rosebud is, which is a hope for the future. A thorn is something that hurt or kind of sucked or was a negative experience for the week or month. And then the rose is something amazing and positive that happened. So Prisca, what is your rosebud, thorn, and rose?
All right, so my rosebud,
Yes.
which is the hope for the future, is since this is my two kids' last week of school, last week of summer camp, I get to spend some time with them before they start school in the next couple of weeks. So I'm really excited for that because I haven't been able to see them that much this summer.
Because of summer camp.
Summer camp, and I've been busy.
Oh, yeah.
And then for the thorn, I would say there's not too much negative going on, thankfully. I'm on my period, which always sucks. And so there's that. And then the positive rose would be
that I'm in town.
that you are in town.
Just kidding. No, what is it? You just say whatever you want. I'm just like being obnoxious.
No, but it is true. I always look forward to you coming every summer.
To Seattle. We're in Seattle right now.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to hang out more. And another positive is that I got cast in a play this summer, and that's been
She's an actress,
so
everyone.
fun. It's been a really fun experience, and I hope to do more in the future.
Yeah, we're excited to go out and support you for your final show.
My
next
last
Sunday.
show is coming up, so yeah.
Woo-hoo.
How about you? What's your
my rosebud? So I work in politics, and I mostly work with Asian Americans who work in politics, and it's just really exciting for the Democrats because we have a Blasian presidential candidate in Kamala Harris. So I'm looking forward to Election Day and everything that leads up to it and all the energy around Kamala Harris's candidacy. We just launched Korean Americans for Harris, which was super fun.
That's exciting.
Really exciting.
Yeah.
And then a thorn is our flight from New York to Seattle was a thorn. It was delayed 7 hours, and then I was on the tarmac or in the plane for about 2 hours, and it's just so tight and uncomfortable, and then everyone's germs, and I didn't have a mask, and I was just like, this is gross.
And everyone's getting restless.
Yeah, and there's like kids like whining in the back, of course, because it's just like we're just sitting there. And then also my husband Trevor, his flight was delayed 18 hours. So he was supposed to fly out the night before, but he slept over at the airport and then had to leave. And he arrived after me.
That sucks.
So that was a thorn. And something positive is obviously just spending time with you and the family. I can't wait to see the kids. And support you on your play. But just like, we've only been here for 4 or 5 days in Seattle, and just like seeing friends, like we just had so much fun. Because Seattle in the summer is perfection. No humidity, no rat smells like in New York.
And we're both from Atlanta.
Yes.
So we know heat and humidity.
Yes.
And you don't really get that here. I mean, sometimes you get the heat, but you're not
it's
like
so
drenched
perfect
as
here.
soon as you go out.
Yeah, it's true. It's really beautiful weather. So,
Yeah.
Thanks for the check-in.
Grace, do you want to explain what Fighting Club is and what it means?
Yes. So Fighting Club is not Fight Club. We are not wrestling each other or fighting with each other physically. In Korean, fighting, or as it's better known in Korean, hwaiting, it is a word of encouragement. It's what people and fans do in soccer games or on baseball games. They cheer their team on and go hwaiting, Or you might have seen in Korean dramas where there's like friends who are trying to encourage each other and they're just like, "Hwaeting, you can do it." Like, "Prisca, hwaeting," in your play. Yeah. Anything else you wanna add to that?
It just represents support and encouragement, and basically that's what this space is all about.
Yeah, supporting, encouraging each other. Yeah. So you want to talk about our friendship?
Yeah, so let's talk about how did we meet?
Do you remember?
You mean like our first meeting?
Yeah, like where and how
it
and what?
So long ago. Like how many years ago? About I would say over 20 years ago.
Yeah, we're in our late 30s, even though we look like in our mid 20s. We were probably middle school, right?
Middle school,
8th grade.
And it was through the church.
Was it church first, or was it at like a
retreat?
I thought it was at like an English SAT prep type of thing. Do you remember we did a book, an English literature class? Like it was like a Hagwon.
At a little church.
Yeah, and we read like Paradise Lost and Dante's Inferno. I think that's where we met.
Is that where we met?
And then we went to...
how did you find out about it?
You know, Korean parents just talk about where they should send their kids to Hagwon. Hagwon is like where you go to get extra...
no, I think that came
training.
after.
Was it? Okay, we met at church, I guess.
Yeah.
A Korean church in Georgia.
Yeah.
Atlanta Korean Baptist Church,
the
AKBC.
Pink Church.
The Pink Church. Why is it called the Pink Church?
Was it pink?
It's pink. It's a pink church.
Not a very complicated explanation.
Yeah, we met.
But yeah, we went to the same church in youth group together. Very involved. Yes. I think we became like, was there like a leadership?
Yeah, we led the youth group with 3 other women, I think, or 3 others.
Yeah,
2 to 3 others.
We led it.
Anyways, that's how we first met. And we connected immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Similar vibes.
Same vibes. And so
and then what happened? We met in upper middle school, early high school.
Yeah,
really solidified our friendship then.
I just remember I was over at your house like all the time. Your door was never locked.
Yes, it was open door policy.
Yeah, it was never locked.
Yeah.
Literally, I just drove and walked through.
You're like 15 minutes away, right? Close?
Yeah, close-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really close in Atlanta terms. But yeah. And then we stayed in contact. You went to college at Emory. I went to Boston College. Yeah.
And so we were long-distance friendship. And we kind of lost touch a little bit then.
During college. I remember at the beginning of college, maybe yours started later than mine.
Yeah.
than mine, but you came
to visit
at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I actually skipped some of the freshman activities.
To hang out?
I think, to hang out.
We're meant to be friends. Forever.
But yeah, and then I wanted to like come to Boston, but I don't think I ever did. I remember we went to your sister's move-in
at
together.
Harvard?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds
and then
familiar.
There was some like storm or something.
I don't know. It was like 20 plus years ago. Anyways, back to our friendship.
Okay, anyway.
Back to our friendship. We lost contact in college, and then in grad school.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You want to talk about that?
I went to grad school for my MSW in New York
at Columbia University, Ivy League. She's really smart.
Cut that out.
No, don't cut that out. Don't cut that out. Don't cut that out. Go on.
Anyway, so I moved up there, and then you moved up there to work as a paralegal.
Yes, at a law firm.
And you lived somewhere
in Midtown East.
In Midtown. I lived close to my school.
I need to cut that out.
You were living in Midtown.
I was living in Midtown.
Just randomly laugh.
You were... It's okay.
Okay.
I was living in Midtown with Lena, my bestie from college, and then we lived together, continued living together in New York City. And then we just hung out a lot. We partied a lot. We,
I mean, I couldn't keep up with you.
Yeah.
Oh, there were a lot of times I would, because I was working
Yes.
as part of my field placement.
Yes.
So after work, I would walk over to your office because it wasn't that far.
Yeah.
And then we
was
would
in
have
Midtown.
dinner together.
At the office.
Yeah.
Because I always got like $20, $30 in seamless credits.
Yeah.
If we worked after 7 o'clock.
Thank you for providing for this poor grad student.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And then we would hang out after.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would sleep over.
Yeah, because I live near work.
Yeah, because I ended up moving to Queens and it would sort of be a trek
Yes.
after if we went clubbing or something.
Oh my God, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
In their early 20s.
And then I moved and you stayed in New York.
I did.
For a while.
Well, one more year.
And then you, DC.
Then I moved to Boston. And then
Boston
DC.
and then DC.
But then we reconnected. So we lost kind of touch after New York, after your grad school experience.
I moved back to Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah.
We stayed in contact here and there. And you got married. Yeah. I was at your wedding.
I got married.
Which was super exciting. In Atlanta, in our home.
Kid,
she had a kid.
That. And then in the end, somehow I ended up in Seattle.
Yes.
Just so random.
From Atlanta to Seattle.
So
yeah,
random.
because neither of us
I
have any ties.
Ever. I never even thought of the city.
I didn't even know what Seattle was.
You know,
Seattle was a
where?
city. It's like, where is this place?
Well, I've heard of Seattle before.
Like Sleep is
like
in Seattle.
Grey's Anatomy.
I don't know.
I actually never watched it.
Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. Right? No, was that You Got Mail? Anyways, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you moved to Seattle. How long ago was that?
Like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
And so do you want to explain how we're both in Seattle this minute?
Yes, I will. So what happened was I started dating my now husband. He's from Seattle. We are in his parents' home. They're so sweet. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Cal and Carolyn. And yeah, we started dating. He invited me out to visit his parents. And then I reached out to Prisca and I was like, hey, my boyfriend, his parents live in Seattle, so do you want to hang? And so we did. I think even before that, actually, I reached out to you when I was doing that Asian Women's Leadership Program.
Yeah.
And then we got pokey together. But anyways, it really is my former boyfriend, now husband.
And his parents don't live very far from my house.
Right. So close.
So it
was
all
meant
worked
to
out.
be.
So now we're seeing each other a lot more frequently than
ever
we
before.
ever did.
Except for New York when we were clubbing.
Yeah. So like in the summer, and in the winter.
Yeah.
So twice a year.
And we did trips together.
We've
but
done
anyways,
camping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love her kids, which is
they love
Uncle Trevor
and Auntie Grace.
Yeah. So yeah, during that time, we're like, we should start our podcast and just talk about our friendship and you know.
Well, also that was born from we were kind of going through this season of like itching to do more.
Yes.
And I think, you know, being in that kind of season brings out a lot of vulnerabilities, and I felt like we were really there for each other.
Yes.
Kind of processing that time and what we wanted and being able to dream together. That also requires a lot of safety and friendship, and I feel like
emotional safety.
Yeah, like we were kind of walking together through that, and then the just discussion of the podcast was sort of born from that.
Yeah, it was very organic.
Yeah.
And then do you want to talk about the dreaming retreat?
Yeah, briefly. I think we could go into it more deeply in
another time,
another episode. But yeah, basically we planned a dreaming retreat together where we could get away from everything, like all of the busyness and regular routines of our lives.
Yes.
We went outside of New York,
upstate
to this
New York.
Really nice Airbnb.
So nice.
In nature with a third friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just we structured it.
Yeah.
And we had kind of sessions where we can just have like unlimited dreaming of what we wanted for ourselves and things that we've always wanted to do.
But we're too afraid to even dream about.
Yeah.
So we pushed each other.
Yeah. Because it's hard.
It
like
is hard.
A lot of things came out, like what are the fears that are keeping us from even saying it out loud,
Yes.
our anxieties, our
Yes.
insecurities,
Yes.
and even that step of naming those was really important in the process.
Yeah.
And then when we share what our hopes and our dreams were,
Yeah.
we had other people that we felt safe with who could also see things in us that maybe we didn't see in ourselves to help us actually expand our dreams or fill in and color it with other ideas, and so it was just like a really wonderful like space of imagination and even just like practical advice and ideas.
And then just to be away in the woods with nature was so nice, and we went to a winery.
We enjoyed time. That was really important to have.
Just away from all the chaos. And I think being in our late 30s, it was, a lot of the dreams maybe we had when we were a kid or even our teenage years or in college, I think we forgot about it with the busyness and also the stresses of life, which we'll talk about maybe in a future episode. But I think, it helped us to unlock all of these like hidden dreams that we kind of forgot about. And it was really beautiful, especially to have like 2 other Korean American women who understand like our lived experiences being Korean American in the United States. And we're all very ambitious, not only professionally, but also personally. And we got deep. We talked about like, and we could go into another time, like we said, but just like, who are we and what do we stand for? What are our values and why do we exist in the world? Like, what is the legacy and meaning for our existence here in the world?
Right. And I think that shared identity aspect was special because, there are certain like cultural values, I think that can hinder. When it becomes, maybe like a block in the dreaming and just talking about how we can reclaim those values and turn it into something that actually pushes us forward. But that's all things that we want to share in a future episode. But so the podcast, I think, came from this idea of like needing that space. Because like trying to go on that journey alone, I think is really hard.
It is.
Because especially with the insecurities, that can just make you really go inward and you kind of
not
need
look for support.
Other people to
draw it
help,
out.
bring you out. And I liked that. I think it's really important.
So let's talk about something that also inspired the Dreaming Retreat. I want to give credit to our friend Jen Park, who recommended this Korean drama called My Liberation Notes. You should check it out on Netflix. We are not sponsored by anyone, including Netflix, but it is a really great Korean drama that came out not too long ago, but it basically talks about what are the things that are hindering you from being fully yourself in the world. What are the things you need to be liberated from? Are they societal expectations? Are they your own expectations on yourself? And so I want us to talk about our anchors and launchpads. So related to My Liberation Notes, what are the things, anchors, that ground you in your values? And then let's also talk about your launchpads. What are the things that you need, the support system you need around you, which is the whole purpose of creating the Fighting Club podcast. So share with us, what are your anchors?
So the things that I think anchor me are definitely family. And what we've been finding is that, and I've had this discussion with my partner, is that we really need to understand each other's, the things that we value, because it can be different. And it really impacts the way that you make choices and live your life. So for example, I highly value like arts and creativity and that world of like storytelling and also like social work and nonprofit work. That's the kind of world that I've been in. And I think for a while we sort of were not very aligned in the way that we saw each other moving in the world and how much value we put into that. So we've had to have conversations where what does it look like to support each other and really see maybe in the ways that we haven't seen before, like how the ways that we personally can contribute to the world is valuable and is needed. And so that's been really important. And it kind of flows into all these other things of how we negotiate our schedules, and our time, and how we sacrifice for each other. So that's been really important. And it's been going very beautifully the past year, especially. And what else? Friendships, like I mentioned. I was definitely going through a really rough season, especially last year. And that's where I really appreciated our friendship. Because we would have calls, and I would be taking a break, walking around Green Lake, and chatting with you, and
it's FaceTime.
Yeah, FaceTime, or even FaceTime at home. I'll be like cooking, and we'll be like chatting with each other. And I felt like that really anchored me, because it was just, I felt so seen and heard in my low points. And I think something that you do really well is, it's not like I'm calling you, to get advice, but it's just, you're really good at listening and making me feel like my struggles are valid and my experiences are valid.
Because they are.
And like when I was struggling with really just tapping into my really deep insecurities, as I mentioned before, kind of seeing somebody the way that they're meant to be, I felt like you really spoke that for me when I didn't really believe in myself. In
like you being
ways.
A creative person.
You're
not taking ownership.
And I was like, oh wow, she's like saying all these things that I feel like in my heart are true, but I don't believe it. But I need somebody to speak that over
to validate
me,
it.
so I can kind of fill that space. And what else?
Any other things that are core values of yours keep you grounded, to keep you being Prisca?
Something, I mean, I feel like I could say a lot, but one thing that I have been really focused on lately is like unlearning a lot of things that have hardened for me over the years, like perfectionism and like schedule driven, whatever. And for me now, I'm kind of learning about the freedom of play. So that's
I love that.
Been a big thing
that you value play.
Like leaning into. So just the freedom to explore without any limitations, whether it's internal or external. So pressure or obligation towards anybody. And it's like a paradox, because for me, like I want to pursue like creative things. Like I would love to like create
You're so
things,
creative.
but I don't think that I can do it in a very like in this high stakes pressure environment where somebody's expecting me to do something.
Is that the Korean culture coming out? The expectations,
or
achievement
work-driven
oriented
productivity. I think that's kind of a general societal thing.
That's true.
But the paradox is when you are free to play and you can tap into that creativity. I think that's where ideas come out. And
do you see that with your kids?
Oh, they are.
Because they're so good at playing.
Honestly, they've been my inspiration.
Oh,
because they're just so. They're not thinking about. It's like, it's kind of like the idea of, I'm going to take them to the playground. And if I take them to the playground, am I expecting them to, at the end of the playground session, have something to show for their time there? No, it's just, you just go there to play. And when you go there, I'm not going to be like, okay, you have to do the monkey bars first. And then the swing, and then this. No, it's just based on your impulse. And you follow what is enjoyable to you.
I love that your kids are inspiring you to
play. And I think adults need that kind of space too, but sometimes lose that idea that we need that.
Yeah, we get stuck in the rat race versus like learning how to play in the monkey bars.
Yeah.
Which I was never good at.
I've been really trying to expand that for myself. And it's hard because I have to resist a lot of old ways of thinking.
Yeah. God, deep.
What about for you?
Right. What are my anchors and launch pads? The things that anchor me definitely are family. My family is so important to me. I think I realized that during the height of the pandemic and when I quit my job and took a 5-6 month break sabbatical and came out to Seattle for like a month. They were just like so supportive, and of course my husband is part of that family, and my niece and nephew, and then friends are like family, like you and your husband and your kids. Friends. I really value friends and friendship, like deep friendships that just accept you for who you are. You only like prove yourself, you know?
You can be authentic.
Yes, authentically you. Even our unhinged sides, which we maybe will show in the future. Family, friends, my Christian faith really grounds me. I'm a person of faith, and I think what I do in the world and how I behave in my workplace, even how I treat my friends and how I treat my family, comes from my faith. And so I feel like I have a responsibility in the world with all the resources, the networks, the things I know to do good in the world. And so I feel like it brings a lot of meaning and purpose in my life. So those are the main three things. And then my launch pads, the things that support me are family and friends. And I will say also, I work in politics, and the reason why I've stayed in politics for like 17 years is because my friends who work in the political space are an extension of my family. And you've met a lot of them in DC.
Yeah.
They're just so supportive.
But I remember asking you, what is it that kept you in this kind of work that can be so stressful and even cutthroat?
Yes.
And you mentioned it's the people that you met.
They're just so amazing. And some of them, we play well together. Like we've gone to the Blackpink concert last year. And this year we went to IU's concert.
Oh yeah.
Do you know she's like the Korean Taylor Swift?
Yeah. I've heard of her. Yeah.
She's so amazing. Anyway, so Launchpads, that community. I would say like K-pop and K-dramas and K-food is all part of the Launchpads. I love Korean culture.
Yeah.
Very proud. So those are anchors and Launchpads. Yeah. Well, now we're gonna talk about someone who's behind the scenes. Do you want to introduce her?
I'm excited. Yes. So we have an intern. Her name is Maria. And she identifies as Gen Z.
Oh my God, isn't that obvious? But was like, what are we? I'm like,
we are not really honest to anything without her.
We're so grateful to Maria.
Yes.
Shout out to Maria behind the camera right now.
Yeah, so she handles a lot of the design and the equipment and logistics and everything. So
and the production.
The
and
production
Production and direction.
Yes.
She's our director and producer.
Yeah. So she is actually going to help us with our next segment, which is our, what's it called?
I don't know. Rapid fire?
We'll just call it rapid fire.
For now?
For now. Where she will throw out words, topics of current
events,
times,
things that are happening,
and we will share whatever comes to our mind.
Yes. Maria, over to you.
First question, state of the political world right now. Any thoughts?
This is rapid fire, right?
Oh, right, rapid fire. It is
fire.
Dumpster fire is another political world.
Also,
the world, not just the U.S. You're saying the world, right? Oh, it is intense, and I think it's more intense because of social media. You see everything and anything.
That's very true.
Because I'm sure in the 1970s and 60s it was really awful, but there was no social media to broadcast everything. So I would say it's a tough time, but it's a hopeful time too. I think leaders are stepping up. I see more women of color, immigrants, people of BIPOC folks running for office, local, state, and federal. So for me, that's hopeful because they're like, we're sick of the status quo. We need to create change and bring a new generation of leadership and new voices. At least on the political side, that's what I see.
Yeah. I do feel hopeful. And I think also having the Olympics happening recently was just a reminder of the unity that can be there, you know, and there were a lot of like really great moments. So
What was your favorite Olympic moment?
Did you see that time, the one where in the gymnastics where the first place, I forget all their names, but they were like kind of like raising her up and giving
I love
her
it.
that
It's a different
moment.
country too. It's a two U.S. gymnastic folks.
They're
I
two
think.
different countries.
Yeah. Maybe it was Brazil. I can't remember anymore. But that was
Brazil.
So, was it Brazil? Okay.
Yeah. But a lot of people were talking
like,
about like women supporting each other.
I love that.
Kind of showing that side. I like that. Yeah.
So it's mixed. The state of the world is really, really intense and tough, dumpster fire, but there is a lot of hope as well. And I love that you brought up the Olympics because that was
they just had the closing ceremony.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Yeah. Okay, next. Celebrity culture. So, for example, thoughts on like, have you heard of standing and like fan service?
Wait, what?
Like
Standing?
if someone stands someone, they're like,
yeah, it's like
their fan.
your
A big fan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's your hot take?
On celebrity culture, I think
Yeah.
it needs to be more specific for me.
Like, okay, so thoughts on standing and fan service, and also differences between like American celebrities and also in East Asia or Asia in general.
I have no idea what fan service means. I just think of fans, like the turning fans.
What
and
the?
somebody coming to service them.
Okay, do you know what BTS like ARMY means?
Yeah.
So that's like different level of fans, a fandom. That's global fandom, right? And
So that's called fan service.
I don't know if fan service.
It's kind of like, I think BTS is a good example. They do so many different like photo shoots and like they do
things for the fans.
Yeah, meetups
the
for the
programming.
fans. Like,
they do meetups. They do behind the scenes stuff. They do vlogs that directly talk to them.
Yeah.
I never heard of that term. Standing means like next level fandom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think just quickly, like East Asian standing versus American, it's so intense in Korea at least. Like they kind of get stalkerish, I think. And I think, do you remember when HOT was really big when we were younger, High Five to Teenagers? It was like the Backstreet Boys of Korea. People would camp outside of where HOT lived, like for days in a tent. Like that is unhealthy. But I do think there's some, I mean, I have friends who are BTS ARMY, and during COVID when it was really dark, they said watching BTS on YouTube and on Instagram gave them so much hope and joy. So I think what, like, especially groups like BTS do for their fans is amazing. I think what Taylor Swift does for her fans, it's really incredible too. But I think there's unhealthy standing too in the US as well, right?
Yeah, I get, like certain level of fandom or standing, I don't know. Where you find meaning and hope in the songs and whatever. But yeah, it can get scary. And I've heard, like, I don't follow it too much, but I've heard of celebrities, like in Korea, who have to apologize for their behavior. Like, not even, like, anything, like, for dating somebody.
Yes.
Or something like that. And that is really shocking to me.
Yeah. I remember when V from BTS and Jennie from Blackpink were dating, and these paparazzi caught photos of them in Paris, I think, at night, like, walking on the bridge. Like, they had to be so careful, and there was a lot of hate towards Jennie.
Yeah.
So sad.
So I think like the pressure from needing to portray this perfect image, that's a bit.
And that you're dating the fans.
I think that's created by the intense
standing culture.
Standings.
Both? We don't know. We're elder millennials, so we're learning.
Geriatric.
Oh, I don't like that word. Okay.
Okay. So for the next segment, I actually prepared Gen Z slang. I thought this would be fun.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess what it means?
Okay.
Yes.
So I wrote it down. Okay.
Okay.
The first word is 8.
Oh,
I know.
go.
Like, that 8.
What?
Isn't that
No,
how
I
you
think
say-
she's like Simone Biles ate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ate it, or she just ate.
Yeah, like she ate it. Like she. Ew.
She ate it and made
I
the
can't.
gold.
Like they did it. Like, or no, they succeeded in
They
the
were
thing
amazing.
that they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
Exactly.
boss.
Yeah. Okay, next. Bet.
Oh, that means like, yeah, sure. It's like a response. I think like, okay, yeah, sure. Have you heard of it?
Like that.
Yeah.
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 That's still
Yeah.
a lot of work
You're
on
right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Who
Okay,
learns
next.
it?
Cap.
Lies.
That's like
Yeah.
sus.
No, sus suspicious. Cap
Isn't
is
that
like
what it means?
no cap is no lie. So you see on social media when they have a blue
Uh-huh.
cap on.
Yeah, I've seen that, but
cap
that
means
doesn't
lies.
mean. Yeah, doesn't that mean like suspicious?
No, that's different.
Oh.
Sus is suspicious. Cap is lying. A person can be suspicious and also lying, but they're two different slang terms.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe you.
Okay, next. This one.
Delulu. Delusional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Unhinged.
Okay.
Mid.
Basic.
Mid.
Yeah.
Like average.
Yes.
Like-
Average basic.
Like me. I feel like I'm
You're not
so
average.
mid.
Whatever.
Yes. Okay, last one.
Let him cook.
Let it
Let's
cook.
guess. Do you know?
Or like
No.
let them cook, let her cook.
Maybe it means they're killing it. They're cooking in the kitchen and they're killing it.
Yeah, I would think it's something like that.
They're like doing amazing.
let him.
Or maybe let him cook means like let them not do well. Let them cook and like fry outside in the sun.
Ugh.
It's either a good thing or we don't
like
know.
like she's cooking. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
It's the first one. It's like a good thing.
Oh, it's a good
Yeah,
thing.
kind of like
You're
she
doing
ate.
great. Like yeah.
Like
Okay.
the food terms.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Do you guys have any favorite tropes? There's a lot on, I think, the TikTok and Instagram world of like enemies to lovers versus friends to lovers, etc. Have you guys
Huh?
heard of?
No, say that again.
So there's a lot of tropes in like romance stories. So
Uh-huh.
like enemies to lovers, where like the two pairing they go
Oh,
from enemies
yeah.
and then to lovers. And
Uh-huh.
then there's like a trope where they go from friends to lovers.
Oh, in like
etc.
dramas.
Yeah.
Or
Was
shows?
we
shows,
asking about
books,
K-drama tropes or
Or just in
drama
general
in life?
romance, yeah.
Ooh, this is hard. I like enemies to lovers because I think like hate is very close to love. If you have that much of an intense feeling towards someone, it can be negative, turn into positive. I like that one. What do you like?
I'm gonna say that I don't like that one, but only in the context of like when I watch it in a TV show.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like, oh, it's so predictable. Like,
Oh, that's true.
it's like, oh, the guy pulling the girl's
Well,
hair. in the
remember,
schoolyard.
like Crash Landing on You was enemies to lovers. Like that's a predictable trope, but
And
I
I
still.
couldn't watch it.
Oh my god, I loved it. Okay, we're very different.
Yeah.
We love
Have
what I
different
love, she hates.
preferences.
She's a hater. Okay, anyway.
Okay. Any thoughts on overconsumption culture? For example, there's a lot of videos about like you need to buy this for the summer or like a 15-step hand care routine.
So that's why I've been really getting into trying to learn how to make my own clothes these days. That is one of the reasons,
I love
because
that.
I don't want to keep buying clothes only for it to go out of trend or whatever, you know, and then
Yeah.
also like fast fashion.
Yeah, that's real.
So yeah, I've been learning how to use the sewing machine, which has been really hard because it hasn't actually been very intuitive for me.
I don't think it is for most people, but yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and I've
amazing.
watched videos, a lot of videos of people buying things from like the thrift store.
Yeah.
And like it's called like
Repurposing
hashtag
it?
thrift flip.
Oh, I love
so
that.
taking like a quilt and making like a
That's
jacket
so cool.
out of it, and the quilt itself is like $5.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the kind of thing I want to try to get into it, but it's a steep learning curve.
Well, I appreciate what you'll produce because I am not going to do that, but I appreciate it.
I want to make something for you.
Oh, I love that. Maybe I should go thrift more. I think I should learn how to thrift. So yeah, anti overconsumption, even though Instagram ads always target
It's
me.
hard.
And I am like so close to clicking twice and buying
And
so
I have.
much things. Yes,
I
I have
have.
too.
Okay. You guys already touched on this a little bit. Just wondering, what are your thoughts on the Olympics this year?
Trying to think of my favorite moments. I actually haven't watched
All of it.
all of it.
Yeah, it's hard.
I watch based on what is like kind of popping up on my feed
Oh yeah.
or the memes that are coming
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of it. But remember that Korean shooter.
Yeah,
and
she's
how
such a
everybody,
badass.
like fell in love with her.
Oh, I
but
love
then
her.
also I loved the comparison with the guy from Turkey.
Yeah,
did you see that?
I did.
Because he has no like, he's not wearing any of the cool
Yeah, I wonder
you know,
why.
equipment and glasses, and he got a medal.
I know.
And everyone fell in love with him for like the opposite reason, because he's so casual and won a silver, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of thoughts behind why.
Oh, why? What?
I'll tell you later. But anyways, for Olympics, I think my favorite part is always the U.S. gymnastics.
Yeah,
I just love the ladies like
Yeah.
Sunisa, like because she's Asian
love her.
American. I just saw my friend who is Minnesota state representative. She went to the welcoming crowd at the airport for Sunisa, and it was just like so much mom American love. And the fact that she mentioned in an interview at the Olympics when they asked her, what do you want to eat? And she said pho. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
girl, guess we want that pho in Paris. So I think that was just like the Asian American highlight moment for me. And I just love Simone Biles. And I hope Jordan Childs gets her justice, because I heard that was just so crazy. But
and they won't even allow them to share.
yeah, it's very weird. But I love women's gymnastics, track and field,
Yeah,
and then now I guess
Shikari.
like the shooting because of the Korean woman. But yeah,
Yeah, I love watching the running one. Oh, did you watch the video I sent you with
Yes.
Quincy?
yeah,
His full name,
the
but
American
when he like
sprinter.
caught up, it looked like he was gonna lose, and then the last
Just gave us
couple seconds,
everything.
it's hard to do that at
It's
the last
crazy.
part.
I know, it was crazy.
But
It was amazing.
I watched that like a million times.
We love it.
Okay, lastly, did you have any very memorable summer plans or memories?
This summer plan? This summer?
Yeah.
I can start while you think.
Yeah.
I just came back from a girls' trip to Anguilla, which I didn't know was a different country than Antigua. So I bought a ticket to Anguilla and a ticket back from Antigua initially, and then 3 weeks before I flew out, I had to buy a new flight from Anguilla to the
good
US.
thing you How
Yeah.
did you realize?
Because my friends were asking me what flight I'm taking back, and I couldn't find it. Anyways, Anguilla was beautiful. It's a British Caribbean island, and it
the
was
photos were really
so beautiful. Just like Caribbean white beaches and blue, greenish, emerald water, and I was unplugged, especially because I was in a different country, so people really couldn't call me, which I loved. So yeah, 5 days in Anguilla. That was like my amazing summer getaway.
Yeah. I think for me, probably this play. I
Yes.
mean, that's sort of been kind of the big thing
Yeah.
throughout this whole summer. The rehearsals were really intense, and memorizing everything.
Yeah.
And it was all my first time ever.
I know.
My first play ever.
And she's your
that-
leading role.
And so it was intense on a lot of levels for me, just
Yeah.
being a first timer. But it was so much fun, and it's been so much fun, and just to kind of play with the different choices, and the more familiar that we get each time, the more comfortable we are. You can see people just like making different choices, and and like more playful choices.
Oh, good.
So that's just really fun.
That
It's
is
really fun to
fun.
work with other actors.
Yeah.
There was a moment where one of the actors did something really funny, and I actually broke on stage, character, because I just thought it was hilarious.
that.
But thankfully no one
Yeah.
saw me because I was in the corner. But
Yeah.
it's just
I love that.
having those moments, it's been really fun.
We can't wait to see you
Yes,
next
I can't
Sunday
wait
for your
you to
final play. All right, so we're gonna close out, but before we do, have you heard of Kopiko?
see. No, I actually haven't.
So this is in a lot of Korean dramas. So Korean dramas, they're doing some kind of sponsorship with Kupika. We are not. But this is a very popular coffee candy. It even says on the label, world's #1 real coffee hard candy. So this is a cappuccino flavor that I got on...
Some ASMR.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna open it?
Yes, I am.
It's cappuccino. Kupika.
It literally tastes like coffee
No.
and candy.
Can you tell us like cappuccino though, like a little milky? Because
Yeah.
OG one
It
is
tastes
not.
like the Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Actually.
It does. Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Oh, they should come out with candies. Anyway, okay.
Okay. So, thanks everyone for listening to Fighting Club Podcast. Where can you find us?
On Instagram at Fighting Club Podcast.
Yes. And so, give us a 5-star rating if you like what you heard. And we can't wait to continue just like building a community with you all, and hopefully here to encourage you too.
Yeah.
To all of our friends listening, fighting!